Hello, my Aries Collective. This is Zaida Velgara from Becoming I Am here with your message for December 2025. I hope you enjoy it. Like always, we're going to start with a little bit of astrology. I'm going to be using some oracles to see how that's going to be affecting you, and then the tarot at the end. I hope you enjoy it. So, starting off December 4th, we have a full moon in the sign of Gemini. You might be already feeling the effects of that, as the full moon affects 3 days before and 3 days after. So that would be like from the 1st through the 8th. This is vivid dreams. This is communication, and this is insight and clarity. I would recommend personally to really talk to your guides during this week and try to get those answers to those questions that you have. Try to get clarity and just direction. A lot of us feel like we need some direction at this moment. This would be a good time to do so. So that being said, let's see how it's going to affect you. Oh, look at how quick that came out. That came out super quick. It says hand fastening. That's interesting. That's like a wedding. It says, the pulls, okay. The pulse through all that I am. No hidden form is left untouched. I am willing, I am risking, for I yearn for unity spilled luxuriously over my lips. Here's that. Interestingly enough, this card is making me feel like there might be an opportunity that might be coming up for you this first week of December. This can be like a new contract, a new agreement, a new job, a new friend, something that I think that you've been asking for, which will finally release itself and be able to manifest itself in December. This is good because I feel like a lot of us were being held back a little bit in November, but November was a funny month. It had a lot to do with like really seeing the truth of situations. It was like some crazy clarity. But now in December, I feel like it's more like a unraveling of situations where you're finally starting to see a little bit of movement forward. So that's what I'm seeing with this new moon. So if you are full moon, so if you're interested in requesting for your guides to help you in that, using that full moon to open that door that has been limiting you would be a good idea. The next thing is on December 15th, where Neptune goes direct in Pisces. This is good because the last week of November, Pisces would direct in Saturn, which kind of made us understand that, yeah, it's time for us to set up a new ground rules for our reality. This one, though, the Neptune being direct in Pisces allows it to be a little bit more dreamy, more looking into the future, more aspirations for the future, which is great. Next year is the beginning of the 9-year cycle. So it's number one of the 9-year cycle. It's our magician energy where we are planting seeds for our future, making that plan. So to have that imagination would really help us. So let's see how it's going to affect you, my Aries. I got two. I got two cards. One is called calling, and it says, I am here, present, ready to answer the call. Here my beating roar coming back home to me. That is interesting because I just finished telling you that it would be a good idea. Let me put it here. For you to talk to your guides and ask them for help and guidance and to how to move forward. And we have this energy of calming, which is kind of asking you, I'm here, I'm waiting for your response so that we can start moving forward. And then it says dream realm. I told you the dream realm is big. It feels big the first week, but it's looking like it might be the entire month for you in December. And this is number 20. It says, not everything is what it may seem. Bring yourself back from all time and all places as new perspectives can be seen. And so if we were thinking about December in comparison to November, November was kind of like clarity. You went through your storyline of many different things that were going through your life. You're kind of like putting all the pieces of your puzzle together and you have a lot of aha moments. On December, it's like, okay, we've like dispersed our energy in many different directions trying to get clarity as to why something is happening. And now it is time for me to come back together and start using my energy to listen to the call of my heart. And so this is talking about moving in a new direction. And December is telling you whatever happened, happened. It is what it is. And it's time for you to redirect your energy into something that's going to be for your greatest good. That's what I'm feeling here. So, the third thing I want to look into is the new moon that will be in Sagittarius. For some reason, it feels like a new beginning for me, kind of like, hey, it's time for us to start moving in that new direction that we're wanting. So it does feel like a really good energy. Let's find out about this. Mm. Greet the darkness. It says here, where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes breaths the hidden, breathes the hidden. Yes, the pieces that makes you whole, but cuts deep with all of their shapy edges. Um, I can't show you too much of this one because it's rated R, but what I'm seeing is integration of shadow. I don't know why I feel that very strongly with this. It's like mind, body, and spirit because there's three women. They're all three naked. They're all dark. They're like just a shadow imprint of each one. And I'm feeling like I still feel like November was hard. Um, that November energy that came through, that energy of realization. Oh, this is reminding me of a reading that I saw from this lady. So she was talking about how this is something that I'm feeling for next year, 2026. But 2025 was a year where we were really delving deep in all our wounds. We were getting our final clarity. We were closing up these final chapters. We were getting to this point where we're like, I get it now. This is why this happened. This is what I was learning here. And kind of like unraveling this like big knot that we had on ourselves. And in your case, I'm feeling it like right in the solar plexus energy, like right where your diaphragm starts and stuff and your stomach starts. It kind of feels like there, kind of like knots in your stomach. And that this year has been something about unraveling them. These are things that have kept you kind of weak because you wanted to understand the why. This is why I'm saying the shadow is so important here because you're understanding the why. Why did this have to happen? How can I avoid it in the future? How can I move in the new direction? And wow, that just started going crazy. And as I'm looking at that, what I'm also feeling is this energy of, I think you're going to be using those wounds because it talks about um, the breaths that were hidden, right? And the pieces that make a whole but cut deep into different shapes. And I feel like what 2026 feels like and what December is going to initiate is this like coming together of all these pieces that felt broken and all these whys, even if you didn't get an answer. And instead of creating that energy of I'm the victim or these people could hurt me or blah 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 etc., it feels more along the lines of what did I learn, how can I use this for my benefit? How can I use this as tools to help me grow? How can I help use this to as tools to help me expand? What did I learn from this experience from about me? And so and it feels like this this new moon in Sagittarius feels like putting yourself back together again. Like Humpty, I just heard Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty fell off that wall and now we're putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's what it's kind of feeling. And it's interesting because it starts with like fastening, like the first thing was the hand fastening, which is like putting things together. And I feel like some connection that you're going to make in in December. This can be like a friend, an organization, a group, whatever it is that you connect to in December, Aries, seems to open up your ears to understand things, open up your mind to receive the messages from divine, and then help you mend all the pieces so that you understand how you can use this ugly for your benefit. Yeah, that's what that feels like. Then the last thing I want to look into is actually December 21st. There is the sun enters Capricorn. This is Capricorn season. But the thing about this Capricorn season that I found so interesting is that it has 4 squares. And it's reminding me of a cube. One part of the cube is this new integration of who you're going to become based on all the pieces of the puzzle coming together, right? This is the new identity that you're forming for yourself. And then the other 3 sides actually talks about this 9-year cycle. Every time we make a wish, kind of like what we're doing here, where we want to use all the broken pieces of ourselves, call them back together, and then create a new version of ourselves, right? That would be the wish, that first panel of the cube. And then the other 3 panels of the square, one of them has to do with the things that you're going to have to correct in your mind, like the thought processes, the belief systems, etc., that have hindered you from being that person. The second one will be things in your emotions that makes you feel unworthy, incapable, etc., that needs to be healed. And the third one is those physical actions, like getting up and doing them, knowing that you have the resources and the ability to do it. Like that would be probably getting more resources financially to make that dream happen, or like doing the hustle, right? So um each one gets about 3 years in that 9-year cycle. It doesn't mean that it goes on, oh, we're only focusing on our mind right now. You have to, it kind of interweaves with each other, but each one has 3 years in which you start going through this evolutionary process. And by year number 9, you're shedding that old version of you and you're integrating into the new one, or you're deciding this is too hard and going backwards, right? And so, and the fact that it has 4 squares tell me that this is the beginning of you breaking down like the box that you're stuck in, right? So I want to see the old version of you that you're going to get rid of, or that you're integrating out of. Mejor dicho, saying it better. Oh, look, we got 2. Oh, I like this. We have the exorcist and we have the prostitute. That's interesting because so the prostitute is not that you're a prostitute, okay? The prostitute is talking about how we freely give away our ideas, our energy, our love, our resources to people, places, and things that really don't deserve it, because we really don't see the value in ourselves, so we sell it cheap. In Puerto Rico, we have the saying that says lechon de a peso, which means selling pork for $1, right? Really super cheap. And it's like, are you kidding me? That should be expensive, kind of thing. And it's like, I feel like for a long time, you hadn't seen how expensive you are, like how high quality you are. And you kind of prostituted yourself out to people that literally knew what you had and took 1,000% advantage of the fact that you gave it out for free, right? And with the exorcist, it feels like this energy where you're also having to let go of this energy of having to exercise this energy. So not only are you letting go of this energy of of selling yourself short, so you're going to be in this energy of I'm not selling myself short more, but also you're getting rid of this energy of having to get rid of the people that were attached to you because you used to sell yourself short. So it's kind of like you're letting go of 2 versions. First, the victim, but secondly, the fighter, defender that had to defend the victim, and all of it being yourself. This is what you're letting go of, which is great because that means that you're not going to be in survival mode. This tells me survival mode, right? Because when we give things away, it's because we're trying to survive. We want people to accept us because we feel weak and we need a group around us. When we are fighting out of that group, is because we know we have to get out of that group, right? So you're in survival. Both of them are talking about survival that you're letting go of. And where you're moving into, I'd be surprised if it was a blank card, but oh, we have the monk and the nun. It says selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. And it feels like a vocation, like you're gonna be delving deeper into some kind of vocation that calls to your soul, something that it feels like your calling, right? This can be teaching, this can be in the medical field, this can be actual something that has to do with spiritual work, but it does feel like a calling that you're going to start devoting yourself more to, releasing this energy of the prostitute and the exorcist. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see. Oh wait, I wanted to see in what area of your life this is going to be affecting. Shut up, this one's so popular. I've actually gotten a couple of times. This is the orphan. I heard you're going to start mothering yourself. I feel like the group that I'm talking to, or the people that I'm talking to, um I feel like you felt abandoned, like neglected, unwanted, not validated by the people that were around you. And so the orphan for me tells me that what you're going to be healing is that feeling of lack that you've been feeling. And the lack doesn't feel like lack of resources, lack of whatever. It feels more lack of um I hear self-importance, like not seeing your worth. That's that's the energy that you're going to be working on. I feel like for this group, next year feels like very much self-empowerment. It feels like doing things that fills your cup and makes you feel, I hear worthy. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but okay, that's what I'm hearing. So let's find out. I know I'm right because it's the Queen of Swords. It's like, girl, you right. Um, but let's see what the cards want to tell you. What else do you need to tell my Aries collective? Those that tune into this, that have been doing the work. Nine of Swords. Why do we have Nine of Swords for you? Queen of Sticks. Eight of Swords. Okay, I'm going to tell somebody right here that you've been losing sleep about a situation that I feel like you've been feeling like it's stagnant. It has been stagnant. And I think if you go in the beginning of the reading, that makes a lot of sense, because November was just like a gathering of the pieces of yourself that had been scattered from people, places, things, and energies. And this year feels like an integration of your wholeness and then actually getting what you want. So last month was, but I feel like last month's energy kind of put you in this energy of, I don't understand why nothing works for me. I don't understand why I can't move forward. I don't understand blah blah blah. But what I'm seeing here with the the Queen of Wands, is that a fire is being awakened inside of you. Like something is coming back, and you're starting to feel stronger, more authentic, more in control. And then things are going to start moving, and they're going to start moving fast. With the Eight of Sticks. Something that you have invested in with the Ace of Pentacles, Six of Blades, that you've been frustrated because it feels like it hasn't been moving. The message is kind of repeating itself. Yep. It's coming back to you, but it's going to cause a lot of confusion. We got the 6 and the 7 of cups. I'm going to see why it's causing confusion. Okay. Why is it causing confusion? It's what you wanted. 3 of coins in reverse, because I feel like it's going to take you out of balance for a little bit, because it's going to create a couple of conflicts. 10 of wands. Because of how fast it's going. And then we have the queen of cups. I feel like tune in to your intuition, tune into your emotions, tune in to your water element, so things that have to do with talking to spirit and meditation and whatever, to try to get in balance. Because I think that, what it feels like? It feels like something was stuck, like if with, this is what I'm seeing, like a dam. I'm seeing a dam, and it's like everything was stagnant, and then you kept like talking to spirit and asking it for it and asking for it and asking for it, and it was like stuck, and you're like, the hell. Like, you've been doing work, you've been you've been doing like work with the 3D, you've been doing spiritual work, you've been doing everything possible to get this moving, and it just didn't go. And I feel like December feels like whoosh, things open, and then everything you ask for comes at once, and it feels overwhelming, actually. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Um, and I feel like a little bit of a headache too. So I'm thinking that this energy is going to make you feel overwhelmed in the beginning, and you're going to feel like heavy, because it's going to feel like everything is coming to you all at once. Things will balance out, but keep your strong spiritual, I want to say strong spiritual connection, because it's going to take a little bit for it to balance out. So what I think is, probably you had something that was influencing your energy that was actually stagnating that growth. And so when it moves, and I've told this to people before, when they come to get energy work, like when stuff starts moving and you were supposed to already be here, but you've been stuck here forever because there's been people, places, things, and energies holding you here. Once you start get moving, everything like kind of fast forwards until you meet right where you were supposed to be, and then they start slowing down, right? So yeah, I do feel like it's going to be a little overwhelming in the beginning when this starts moving, but when it does, it's going to be amazing. So I hope that helps.